G'day listeners, welcome to Bar Karate, the sailing podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. So, first off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, Exalted One.
BP, long arms tonight, mate?
No wind.
No wind.
No wind. No wind here in Gosford. But hey, it was a fantastic week, and I'd love to say how well the Gosford Sailing Club did promoting a fantastic event. We're talking Etchells, of course, the New South Wales State Championships, which we'll go through a bit later on. But I'm in a lovely place right now. I'm sitting on the lake here and just, well, whatever it is, what do you call it, Brisbane Waters or whatever. Sun's going down. I've got a glass of red wine in hand, and I'm talking to you. It's true. It's true.
Now, I want to go out of order here. I've got an entrant to one of our Jack Lloyd Listener of the Week competition. I just want to read Tristan Beatty's note to us, okay? This is a
bit strange.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like change much.
Oh, well, relax. Right, lads, long time no message. Let me paint the picture. All year we hear about this mythical regatta. The water's warm, crayfish come out of the ocean smiling. There's an abundance of sunshine. All the hype around this regatta and the media put together. The podcast fourth wheel and recent Sharpie World Champ, Mr. Harry Fisher. I'm struggling to find a picture of one Nick Bicey sailing. I've trolled through all the socials. I've had the Port Lincoln Times delivered. I've asked a few locals along the way. No one can produce a picture of him bumping a halyard, plugging a Code Zero, pulling a lazy sheet out of the water on the winches, nor steering the secret men's business, let alone with his legs over the side offering some writing moment. It's got me wondering, does Bicey have his finger in too many pies, or has he diluted his pool on the socials with the media coming out of Port Lincoln, or was this a business trip on SMB? Or is he just not there? Because bad news, listeners.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
We've got grasshoppers. We've got
the crickets.
The crickets. Nick Bicey.
I don't know.
BP, we give you so much grief about going missing after Hobart. Bicey has gone. He's gone.
AWOL.
Okay. But we've got one of the best to replace him. I know this guy will have his own intro music. Are you going to run your own intro music, my friend? Okay. So, welcome to the show, Mr. Jody Shiels.
Bang in the corners, bang in the corners, bang in the corners, bang in the corners, bang in the corners. We'll all bang away.
Hello, listeners. Good evening and welcome.
So we did an episode 158. We call it Bang in the Bar, right? Now this one, episode 199, we're going to follow up on SailGP. We're going to call it Behind the Karate.
Well, that's pretty exciting. It's me getting the bang in the corners and the bar karate behind the karate sounds really good, I reckon. I want to congratulate you blokes too. 199 episodes.
Yeah, we're done. That's it. It's all over.
You can't pull it 199.
What? Lots of cricket players do. A lot of cricket players do.
Yeah, I know, but you're not Mark Taylor, mate. He pulled stumps at Sir Donald Bradman's record, so you got to go through. That's awesome. 199. Congrats, boys.
Well,
mate.
The behind the karate thing, Jade, comes from your behind the taps thing that you're doing.
Yeah. That's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, we're just standing behind a bar at our local hotel, talk a bit of smack for about 10, 15 minutes and get free beer off the publican. So how good's that?
You're a smart man, mate. You've always struck me as a smart bloke.
The problem is it's normally about 8 o'clock in the morning of a Saturday morning when we're pouring beers, so it turns into a long day.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
fair enough.
You've got to take one for the team.
Yeah, struggling through that. Yeah, good on you. All right, so what we decided, Bicey has genuinely gone AWOL. We're not quite sure where he is. Congratulations, because he did win the Australian Yachting Champs on Secret Men's Biz. So he could be delivering the boat back. We don't know. Once he got in Lincoln, his phone just disappeared. We didn't hear from him. So what we thought we'd do, we had a great episode with Jode, episode 158, where we did the whole forecast of SailGP. Obviously, SailGP is in the headlines right now. We've got 2 events to go after Sydney. and we wanted to revisit. So season 3 with SailGP, we did the whole intro, started with 10 teams, 9 boats and 10 rounds. We've lost the Japanese team and we've added an event. So we thought we're near to the conclusion. Why don't we actually just go through what the forecasts were, how accurate we were, what it's looking like at the moment, and go from there. But I guess we got to start with Sydney.
Well, can I come in as an outsider here? And as obviously, I'm not as entrenched in the SailGP as you two legends. It was, from the outside looking in, pretty intense, and I'm sure with you blokes there, it would have been just the same. I mean, I was speaking to you, Jordan, as it was happening, basically. What actually went on?
I don't know what tents you were looking at, but the ones I seen weren't real pretty.
They weren't there, were they?
Smashed. They were smashed.
Yes.
Let's just say the stopover was a big one. For many reasons. Obviously, we saw a lot of things happening. The practice day was intense. We lost a sailor to a broken leg. We saw Matt Gottrell for Team GBR just get fully teabagged.
How unbelievable was that? I mean, far out. I grew up barefoot water skiing. I know how hard water is. And now they're doing 50 mile an hour. That's 15 faster than I hit the water at. And geez, I can tell you what, he would have been feeling it.
Yeah, Sydney Harbour got chocolate flavoured after that one, I tell you, because he just
chocolate.
That was some sharks wiping their eyes, that's for sure. I actually spoke to Matt on the that evening and just asked him how he was, and Matt's a big boy. If you've ever met him, he's an ex rower, Olympic rower, and he's 100 and something kgs and big lad. And he said, I was got pumped, mate. He said, I was full of bruises and hurt.
Yep.
Yeah, no, well, there's absolutely, it's true. It would have, and it was violent, Not only was it violent on the upswing from the water, it was violent on the downswing from the trampoline. He got it both ways.
Both ways. So for the listeners who haven't seen it, if you can go to the SailGP website and there's the video of it. So I think it was first race. The POM team was trying to do a jibe and then had to change their turn halfway through, and it threw Matt off balance and he went straight down between the fairings. So the safety lines that they all have on are designed for them not to get thrown off the boat, but the fact that someone would go through the fairing has just completely shorted that out, because if you go over the side, you stay pinned on the hull. You don't enter into the water. But he went through the fairing because of the change of direction, so his all balance was just over, it was flipped, and 100 and something kilo guy, if you change the platform under them, they go down a lot easier because, they've got carrying a lot more weight in the upper body, or if you've got a big head. And so he went straight through the fairing and absolutely got teabagged. And it's pretty interesting video because you see the team are trying to get to him. They're trying to slow the boat down, and nothing until they stopped the boat. He was not coming back on board. Then they got the boat down, and they couldn't, it was really awkward trying to get him out. And then we saw Henry Woodhouse, the chase boat comes alongside. Henry jumps on board. Then I think the sailor said, "No, we're good," and got him off just so they don't get outside assistance. I think is probably what went on there. I suspect that there was no one had ever complained about that. But but he recovered and raced the rest of the day. But that was pretty impressive just for one. If that had been everything that happened at Sydney, we would still be talking about that, wouldn't we?
Well, here we go. We've got a broken leg and we've got that little incident, and things happen in threes. We've all got that little bit of superstition about us. You guys were there.
Yeah,
what do you got to say?
Literally just missed. There's a rope handle that runs around the front of the wing. So when the two guys that run around the front during a manoeuvre, they've got that because of the G-forces. You see him swinging off it quite a lot, and as they turn, you see him just reach out for it, and his arms, they're probably 8 foot long. Just missed it, and he just went one step back straight into the fairing.
He sails Etchells too, does he?
not in Gosford. But it brings me to an interesting point, and I wish the mystery man Bicey was here because he'd be able to tell us, why do they use Clydes after a fairing? Why can't they use carbon? Why can't they just put a thin carbon fairing there, something that you can actually stand on? Because
Yeah.
you see them when they nosedive all the time. That's the thing
They
that
rip 'em
blows
off.
in
Yeah.
half.
It's cheap and easy to replace. You just lay it on and heat gun on it, and it shrinks into place, and it's a really easy job. But yeah, it's cheap, easy. You know, the wings are made out of that same stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, I would have thought like a couple of layers of carbon, something fairly stiff. I mean, obviously you're not going to throw 100 kilos dead weight on it, but surely a little step here and you're not, you can maybe bounce off it. I don't know.
yeah,
There's obviously a reason they don't, but
yeah.
they may need to look at.
Then, of course, what Brett BP's hanging for us to talk about is at the end of the day. So three races on the day. There was a lot of carnage. So the Aussies had real problems on their boat. They called for the delay on the start, and the lock that locks one of their foils down snapped, and they tried multiple repairs, didn't work, and poor old Kinley Fowler was just running up and manually doing it through every manoeuvre, basically. He was just doing the auto lock, so Kinley became the man. And, it really had an impact. And the Aussies were all over the place, all over the show, in tough conditions. Walking down in the morning, I don't know what you saw, Joe, but I walked down, there was a lot of humidity in the air, and you could see thunderstorm clouds building up in the sky. And I did comment to someone I was walking down with, I said, we could be in for a thunderstorm. We were expecting a nor'easter for the day, but then that sort of the first signs of thunderstorm clouds, a big black cloud went over the top of everything and bent the wind a long way west, which caused a few strange results because running into the finish from that turning mark into the finish, it was a lot squarer. Suddenly everyone's running dead downwind, and there was a double foiling and all sorts of stuff going on to try and get down, and a few passes were made. And then once we got in, one of those cigar clouds formed up. The organisers got a forecast of time of impact, which was about half an hour, 45 minutes away. And I guess, there was a decision. I can't talk about it because I'm not in the official thing. Jade, you're probably not in the official thing. But so this is just observation. What do you want to say? What Jade, or?
I do, mate. Yeah, I've got the actual weather analysis that they sent out.
Yep.
From clouds, and it did say thunderstorms potential 0 to 6 p.m. Then 30 to 50% from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So that's on their Saturday weather briefing.
Yep.
And like you said, Jordan, I was on Shark Island, or Genesis Island, rebranded Genesis.
Yep.
For the event, and we seen that first storm come through during the day, and it luckily went to the north. There was a bit of lightning and that in it, and like you said, it bent to the breeze to the west. But then that other big things down south, there was a real scramble to get it. We had 1,300 people on Shark Island, and we had to get everyone off because they were really worried about it hitting. So I'm really surprised that that they got caught out, to be honest. But
yeah, well, it's interesting because BP, you're in Drummoyne, which is not more. I was in
the palace having a quiet drink with the Commodore, which was a sort of a 3-monthly sort of thing where the Commodore puts on some nice free beers and some nice food, and we're sitting there watching it, and we could see this thing coming over, and I said to the guys, we should shut our shutters down because this could get quite violent. Not even thinking about SailGP because we'd already watched it during the day.
Yep.
Next thing you know, I'm talking to you. Bang.
Yeah. So it was definitely it hit a specific spot, and SailGP happened to be in that specific spot. We're all pro sailors or high level sailors. We've seen those clouds before. I mean, I've been through 3 in my life, and I know exactly what's coming. A lot of every single person on the site knew what they were looking at, I would suggest. But there was the indecision between, do we leave the boats on the moorings with wings up, or do we try and get the boats off, the wings off? And, you can criticise as much as you like, but people made decisions, and that wind hit way earlier than forecast, or the words that were flying around, and it hit hard.
Yep.
Just, for the listeners at SailGP, each team has staff that do all the work on the boat, but there's also a centralised tech team, much like based on the same model, the boatyard model for the ocean race. And, one of the tech team, they're on the boat. If they didn't release that wing from the boat, they were right on the edge. Flying. That boat was going to be on the bottom of that pendulum, and there would be no Team Canada. Their brand new boat would be smashed to pieces.
Oh, and the person on the boat.
It was a young lass on the front. Got the forestay fitting off just in time, so massive boat breaker, and just made the call, went for it, and punched that fitting out, and then the wing pops up. And then it just went to carnage, and the wind was insane. Like the wind was insane. I was watching for a second, and then shit was just flying past my head. So I was watching for about a quarter of a second.
Well, you were on the phone. You were on the phone to me, and you said, "I got to go."
Yeah, just running. Yeah. Imagine the poor crane driver. Like the crane driver must.
Well, this is unbelievable. But I'll tell you what, what has happened out of this, and again, from the outside looking in, if you watch that video, that crane driver deserves a goddamn medal. Yeah, the way he landed that thing, the way he depowered it and dropped it at the right time, when you look at that video really carefully, he almost knew what was going on, and he just spun it out of the crane, and it fell down, and it went head to wind sort of, but on a horizontal plane, and just fell ever so softly to the floor.
Yeah. Yeah,
when it was up there, it would have been a nightmare. Would have been his heart would have been just going, holy Jesus, what's going on here?
So for
I think what's important to let everyone understand is it takes 45 minutes between lift outs for these boats. It's not just a matter of
bang
hooking up a sling and getting out. So the schedule was started at 8:15 or 6:15, sorry, for the Kiwis and the Aussies to come out. And the last boat, which was a Swiss, wasn't due to come out till 9:15 that night.
Yep.
Now, that's a 3-hour process to get 9 boats out of the water. The call has to be made at some stage to go for it. And, when you're looking at 45 minutes, maybe they did think they had enough time up their sleeve, and they just literally got caught out because this front progressed too quick. But once you're committed. You can't just lower it. Otherwise, you've got, like you said, Jordan, you've got a 100-ton crane over the top of the whole thing, then you've got a massive drummer on your hands.
Yeah.
So it's in the light of day, it's scary, but I guess it's just one of those things.
Yeah. So
well, I'll put it down to that, But I'll tell you what, I guess the most important thing, and we've all been through these situations, is that no one was seriously injured, and they lived to fight another day. But look, it just shows how wild the weather is, when it does turn it on, it turns it on.
We were coming back, we were on a rib, and we got underneath the harbour bridge, and it went from nor'easter to this hot little westerly for about 2 seconds, and then it just honked.
Yep.
And I'm talking honked, mate.
Yep.
That southerly sou'wester pumped.
Yep.
And we made it back to the dock and ran around the corner, to get out of the rain, and the carnage had already happened, and it was a war zone, mate. It was literally there was people underneath the the whole base got evacuated, and there was just people honestly stunned. I've seen Phil Robertson, all these guys, they were still in their wetsuits and their life jackets, and they were just stunned.
Yep.
They're just thinking, what just happened?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I mean,
anyway,
a lot of camaraderie thrown, but to give you some example, there was a street sign just in front of the Crown, like embedded in cement, and it was just whacking backward and forward, like trying to rip out of the ground. It was insane to watch. So it was just, anyway, good fun times. Fun times, hey?
Well, let's do it that way. Let's just take it for what it is. We are users of the environment, like surfers, like I guess anyone. Even you could also go down the path of Formula One. They say they Formula One racing, they experience the same thing with weather. It hit, and that's unfortunately how it panned out. But like I said, it's good that no one was seriously injured. So that's the most important thing. It is just, as Bicey would say, it is just a yacht race.
Well, they say SailGP powered by nature, more like pummeled by nature. Last Saturday.
Well, of course, let's
get on to the actual racing, boys. Come on, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it much more. Let's talk about it.
The racing was sick.
Oh, unbelievable.
How good with the
It
French?
was sick. Yeah, they were,
mate. Mate, I'm sitting down at my beloved Palace, and I thought, I'm just going to have a quiet beer here. And my wife joined me, which is even rarer, to go to watch them sailing. And Australia are not going to race the first race. Oh, you're kidding, aren't you? And this is ridiculous. Oh, come on. And next thing you know, they're lining up and win the start.
That was insane. It was. So the French were the standout team. They had 3 wins.
Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
We actually tipped them on our boat that the French were going to be the team. Particularly one of my colleagues, Ollie, he was all over it. He was just going, the French. The US came up as the second best team overall after the 3 races on the day.
Yeah.
Now, I want to read something that Russell Coote said before the racing, talking about the USA team. In season 2, they were the most consistent team, yet they've really struggled this season. I think a lot of that is down to Jimmy Spithill. With the exception of Saint-Tropez, he hasn't sailed well all season. He hasn't got off the start line well, and the team just hasn't gelled for a 2-day weekend. They've had good days, but they haven't been able to put 2 consistent days together. Whew. He's the lead of the team, so the buck stops there and keeps going. But basically, Cootsy, he put the boot into Jimmy. And Jimmy, we mentioned this before, he wears a lot on his shoulder, young fella, and I don't know how I would have handled that sort of stuff, but he stepped up, and they looked good all weekend for even the practice, everything. They looked good. Did you see that, Jode? Or?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, like when we sat in the press conference when they had it, and I really dialed into how Jimmy's body language was. Normally he does his usual, turns up, puts his Red Bull in front of the camera, and sits there and just
puts his hat on halfway sideways.
Yeah, gives the answers that the people asking the questions want to hear. But he just had a little bit of a look that he's probably sick and tired of getting his a torch on his backside, so to speak. And I had a quick chat to him during the walk around in the park, and he seemed really relaxed. And although the young girl broke a leg, he was comfortable with Lucy Copeland jumping on board, and he said she fitted in quite well. So that didn't seem to be a big distraction to him.
Yep.
He said, "Oh, we'll just do what we have to do, mate." And he sounded relaxed.
Yep.
So, it doesn't surprise me that they went out and, Jimmy's like, mate, he loves the old adversity. It's his favourite word. And, the result coming out of the weekend has put him back into the picture. If he had another shocker, it was game over for him. Momentum's a funny thing, isn't it, in sport? And if he takes that into New Zealand, who knows?
When I was doing one of my tours with the VIP thing, Jade, I was right next to the USA boat, and Jimmy was he was just standing on top looking down, and I did quite audibly say, I knew he heard it. I said, "You keep your eye on the USA team this weekend. They're looking good at the moment, blah, blah, blah." Like I felt like I wanted to try and give him something, like not everyone out there is pouring shit on him, and I just thought.
Do you think it was you?
No, nothing to do with me. I'm just saying how tough he is. I'm saying that guy's tough.
Sorry, Jordan.
Nothing to do with me. But
super coach.
No.
Bit of confidence pumping.
But Gingers got to stick together, BP. That's all.
Us Gingers. I know us Gingers have got to stick together. I know how it rolls. It's tough out there for us.
That's right.
It's tough. Ringers are ruling the world, mate.
Yeah,
mate. They did look fast downwind, which is really like the French were really fast upwind. They were attacking that thing, unbelievable. But the USA downwind looked really fast. And when you watch them previous, they've been really pitchy and really everywhere on their flight control. But they just seem to be dialed in. Hans Hanken was back on flight this one. They've had so many interruptions and so many crew changes for this season. That consistency's never been there. And Hans was back, and obviously Lucy in the back, so there's 2 more changes, but for some reason they just look dialed in this weekend. And the beauty of SailGP is you go and you look at all your data and you just go, right, take a photo of it, turn that boat into exactly what we did over there in the same conditions, and let's rock and roll again. So
it was windy, Jade.
Not writing him off yet.
It was windy. We haven't had windy races for a while. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yep.
Yeah,
true.
It could be as simple as that. There could be all sorts of reasons for it. I don't know. I don't want to pick on the Aussies because they had the foil trouble, but I've been thinking, do you reckon the Aussies have got a little complacent because they were dominating, and now New Zealand, if you go through results, I think...
Is it complacent or is everyone just getting better?
Well, that's a good point, BP. That is a good point.
And
so
again, I am an outside looking in here. You guys are the insiders. I just think that, that everyone's learning the boats and it's getting to a point where there's, more and more competition.
Kiwis are definitely better.
I was with Sammy Newton today and, he's saying it's the competition is getting hotter.
Could it just been that it was Tommy Spittle's wedding during the week? He was getting married on the Wednesday.
Slingsby.
Sorry.
Tommy Spittle.
Spittle's wedding.
Tommy, imagine that.
Tommy Spittle sitting there going, oh, hang on, what happened?
Am I married? Did I get married?
The other legend, Tom.
Tommy Spittle. It was Tom Slingsby's wedding, and congratulations goes out to him. But I do have a little story. I was with his father today, sitting there having a beer after the regatta. And I did mention, that I'm BP from Bar. Oh, Bar Karate. Oh, yeah, cool. He had a story that he wanted to tell, and I think I can tell it. And basically, Joey Turner was his best mate, one of his best mates. I would say one of his best men.
Yeah.
And it came time to give the rings out, and so he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a little bottle of scotch, and then he reaches into his other pocket and pulls out a little bottle of gin, and then pulls into his other pocket and pulls out a little bottle of vodka. So there was a bit of humour there. Eventually he found the rings and handed them over. So, yes, it was apparently a very beautiful wedding. Saw some lovely photos. So well done, Tom and co.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. There's nowhere to hide in SailGP, is there?
No.
Well, there's nowhere to hide, and anywhere at the top of the tree. You're in the face of everyone. Everyone wants to know you, and that's how it is.
And what my gut feeling is that some teams are putting a little bit more time and energy and resources into going through the data. Like, these guys, the Toms and the Jimmies of the world, they're off the water onto a plane straight back to their AC campaigns or whatever.
You're onto it.
And it depends on when they're, how much information they're throwing on their or energy, they're throwing into the information that's provided to them. And some of these other teams, I think you probably find they've got guys just pouring over it and analysing it, and guys or girls, doesn't matter. And I think that's where a bit of the hidden difference is.
Yep. No.
I did ask Dave where he went for his honeymoon, and he showed me a photo of him with his dog on the lake.
Yeah.
He travels. Although they all do. They travel a lot, and I think he just wanted some time home with the new family, and he's off to Pensacola, whatever it's called, for American Magic this week. So it's travel. Not going away.
Yeah, so super happy for those two. All right, let's just get focused in on the forecast. So episode 158, BP, you were missing. We did all the jokes about you.
From memory.
No.
I'm from memory.
Off the top of your head, yeah.
It's ironic that now Bicey's missing. And I just wanted to go through all the forecasts. So, Jody, you happy for me just to sort of give a rundown? I've got all the notes.
Yeah, rip in.
Yeah. Yep. So we asked for everyone to make their tips. So the Bicey and Jody both had France finishing 10th. Both had Spain finishing 9th. Had Canada 6th for Bice and 5th for Jody. The Swiss at 8th for Bice and 7th for Jody. USA, both of them had them at 4th. Bicey had Denmark at 7th and Jody had them at 8th. They both had New Zealand in 3rd. I had New Zealand winning. They both had GBR in 2nd. I had GBR winning. They had Japan 5th.
You just have
6th.
everyone winning.
And then they had the Aussies coming first, and I had the Aussies coming first. So I predicted 3 teams.
How can you have 3 first?
Well done, Splinters. Well done.
Are you your own bookie? How many odds you give?
Because I was pathetic. I took no risk.
I know.
Okay, so the current standing, Aussies in first at 76 points. New Zealand second, 64 points. Things have got real tight. In a third overall is France, 63 points. France took a hammering and they're coming back. Fourth is GBR, 61. Fifth is Denmark, 57. Sixth, USA, 52. Seventh, Canada, 49. Eighth, Spain, 27. And in ninth place is the Swiss with 25 points. Japan are gone. They are not racing, in case you hadn't worked that out. Right. Standout point. It's France.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think I wasn't at episode 158 and I was, it was dark times. But
you would have tipped France to be in the top three, yeah?
Oh, winning overall. No, absolutely. I mean, I've come in late. No, I'm only joking. To be honest with you, they are definitely the most improved team. And as a spectator, you sort of see it. You see their improvements when you're watching on the water. And, I think they're a real challenge for sure. Absolutely. I'd be definitely scared of them.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't understand or didn't realise with the France team was the going to be the changes, all that sort of stuff, and they've gone to a full French-speaking boat, which you cannot underestimate that.
Yep,
cannot underestimate it. So
no,
and Quentin. I don't know how you pronounce his name, Jordan. You're good at
Quentin. I call him Quentin, but he always answers that. But it's Quentin or something like that. Quentin Tarantino, I think, is what you describe him.
Quentin Tarantino, Delapierre. I mean, he's fitted into that seat quite nice, and he's comfortable. You see him once again. I love watching them in their in the press conferences. You can just get a read of their body language.
Yep.
Whether they're scared, whether they're comfortable, whether they're.
Yep.
I mean, he's just signed with the French America's Cup team as a helmsman. So he's comfy in that world, and he's not scared to get into these boys. When he first went in there, he said, "God, I used to get." After Ben Ainsley, I had his picture on my wall.
Yeah.
Remember that episode? He had literally had his picture on his wall. Now he's racing against him. So he's gone from being a fanboy to a someone that's quite happy to mix it up. And good on him.
Good on him.
And
it's a team effort too. I would suggest they're that team was formed a little bit with a few mates, putting the core of that team together, and so they're pretty happy sailing together. There's a lot of happiness in that team. They're laughing a lot. They're pretty relaxed. Big Bruno was there.
The great man.
The great man. So Bruno, he actually came up to me because he listened to the Abbey episode and said, "Oh, the smoking thing, you're so mean to the French." And I said, he said, "You Australians, you throw all your cigarette butts on the ground, but I've been telling them all off. Anyone that smokes and throws cigarette butts on the ground." I said, "Good on you, mate. I love that. Keep doing it." And he, but I think he was a little bit peeved. But then he did admit that Kevin Scoffier, he does like to suck on the smokes a bit, but
on the burners.
But yeah, they look great, and they're not stressed about the pressure, are they?
Nah, he's throwing it in there wherever he needs to.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, he's not backing off. He's happy to get in amongst the starts. He's happy to push when he needs to. He's happy to flex his muscles, all them sort of cliches we can throw at him. So with wide shoulders, all that sort of stuff where the bullies of the fleet used to be the Toms and the Ainsleys, and then now everyone else is going, well, you know what? I'm not going to take it off you. I'm happy to get in there, and he's definitely doing it.
Yeah, they deserve their spot. Yeah, no, that was clearly evident. It's the exact opposite on the Spanish team. You both had them at 9th. Their current standings 8th. You attributed their problems when we discussed your level that they're going to be 9th to the fact that all racing occurred during siesta time. And they're all asleep. We've seen a lot of crew changes and movements, and Tiago Boughton is now on the helm. They've brought in another Aussie, so they've got a couple of Aussies on the boat. It's been a tough time for them. What do you think, Joe, or BP? Where do you think these guys stand? What's going to be the future for them? Are they going to improve?
I think by nature the event makes you improve.
Yep.
So let's just get to that point for a start. I mean, the other teams want the other teams to succeed, and that's part of the model, right? The model is based on making sure that no one wants to go out and get beaten, but they also don't want to go out and have a team struggle and then not return. I mean, Japan's an example of that, with where not that they were struggling with performance, that's just how quick it can just roll over, So they want the teams in there, and I think that that the whole SailGP fraternity will do everything to make sure they get better. But it really comes down to the team leader, the management, and the inside feel. Like you said, the French are having fun. They seem to be enjoying themselves, and that's probably the biggest key to any team.
Yeah.
If there's no stress and everyone respects the leaders and respects the decisions, then you're going to have a well-performed team.
Yeah.
And that's something that this is the elite. There's no question. I mean, like, these guys are fantastic sailors, every single one of them, and they're out there doing their thing, but it's also about personal management, managing people.
Yep. Anything to add, Joe?
I see the team as a bit of a
sorry
train
about
wreck.
that rant, but that was a bit of a rant.
Joe?
Yeah. I see it as a train wreck. It's like, at this stage, I quite like the team. They're really good, but you've booted off 2 skippers. You had a possibility of getting on the podium. You booted the skipper, Phil Robertson, back at the end of season 2, and they went from possibly podium to nowhere. I think they ended up third last in the overalls.
Yep.
The CEO's left. The skipper they replaced Phil with left, and then they threw this young bloke in, and just 3 days before a Sydney event, which was windy, and he killed it. He done really well. He was my worry going into the event. I thought, I'm worried about this young bloke. His first racing on an F50 Sydney Harbour, tight racetrack, all to play for. Will he take someone out and ruin their series? But all credit to them, that they were getting in there and getting amongst it, just falling off towards the end. But if you're a sponsor, and SailGP is all about commercialising your team, I don't know how you could go out to a sponsor at the moment and say, this is what we've done in the last 12 months. Are you happy to come on board with us? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be scared if I was I don't know. I might be looking at it wrong, but I'm a bit worried about him.
Yep.
Yeah, fair call. I mean, I agree with you on that one, but I think also that, I think that there's going to be an element of, let's try and work this out, as a bigger picture. So we'll see how that pans out. That's just from my opinion anyway.
Oh, I hope they do, mate. Like Jake Lilly on the team, and all that. The young fella, he seems really nice. The new skipper, Botin. So yeah,
well, the good part about Jake being on board, he's got the Barkarati reverse curse opportunity sitting over his head. It hasn't sort of come to fruition yet, but he's got it there. So he's able to use that card whenever he wants. He can just dial it in. So it's all good. We've got a good future.
I've got a theory about the reverse curse.
What's that?
I've got a theory about the reverse curse. So I'm worried that Bicey using it for himself.
You reckon it's gone?
He's taken all the good vibes from everyone else. I'm a little concerned.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
If anyone doesn't have a win,
well, I mean, like I said,
Bicey.
I just did the New South Wales titles, and I wasn't allowed to have it for the Australians.
Yep.
And I definitely didn't use it here, so I'm playing the game. I'm playing the game.
Good man.
So you reckon Bicey?
That's disappointing, because I was going to go down the pub after this and go on the pokies, because I thought, being hanging around used blokes, the luck will come my way. I'm going to throw a little pineapple in and win the jackpot, but I'm not going down now.
You're going to win the Lamborghini, you reckon?
I got 2 weddings to pay for, mate. I need to win everything I can do. Yeah. So anyway, that's my take on Spain.
Okay. Well, let's look at Canada, because you made that comment. I think Bicey may have said it. You were talking about how they were going to perform. I think they're going to go. We said they're going to go better than people thought, but then they were going to fluctuate like Bitcoin. Their success was going to fluctuate like Bitcoin. Ironic, given Well,
Bitcoin's down, Bitcoin's up.
Bitcoin's in the toilet, basically. All that's gone away. So they're currently lying 7th. They came in red hot. If you remember Chicago, they were the dominant team in Chicago until the final ended up getting pipped by the Aussies. But, they were the best overall performed team if you just looked at the points. And Canadians ended up 2nd. They've had a few flashes of brilliance, but, they were great in Bermuda. They ended up 3rd. They were great in Chicago. And then, I don't know, it's gone away. Some brilliant starting from Phil. Absolutely brilliant starting.
Because you taught him. You taught him.
I think that team. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. They're a great bunch of people. I just love hanging out with those guys. They are a ton of fun, and I'm not going to be nice. Remember, Joe, that was the other thing we mentioned. I kept saying
Jordan's going to get. Yeah, he's turning the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Nice Jordan's having a siesta.
Yeah.
Nice Jordan.
I listened back to episode 1. I said everyone was nice and everyone was likeable, and it was just such a soft thing to be. Jode's much better.
So what are you going to say now?
I'm just going to be a bastard. Everyone sucks. But, yeah, so the Canadian team, I think, I don't know, I'm wondering if the money's gone away.
Well, what is the money like when you say the money's gone away? They've already bought into the event, so that's they don't have to pay a entry fee for each event.
Surely that's a commitment, right?
Yeah, whether the resources have gone away, maybe like I said, maybe they had a bit of time in simulators early, and that they were sort of living that sort of life and getting used to the boat. I mean. Once again, mate, the fact that you just don't get enough time on these boats to train and practice.
Yep.
And then if for whatever reason you come in flat or sick or someone's a bit down or whatever, not up for the weekend, you get your pants pulled down pretty quick.
Yep.
And I think Phil, like you said, Jordan, he won third, won, and he's there or thereabouts. But I don't think he's been consistent enough. Well, it's obvious he's not consistent enough because he's down the order. He's sitting in 7th spot, and not looking real good. You can pretty much write this season off, I reckon, for him.
Yeah,
I mean, there's 20 points left.
Yeah,
20 points left of the season, and he's what is it? He's 24 points off 3rd place. So see you later, alligator.
Okay, here's the theory. The red and white teams have underperformed. There's a lot of teams that have been painted red and white, and they've underperformed. The teams that have a bit of blue in them, like the GBR team did, now they're red and white.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can say that Sydney Swans failed in the AFL Grand Final last year, so that's one. Liverpool are struggling. Manchester United, occasionally red and white. They're having a bit of a tough year. I agree with you.
It could be the red and white. That could be the curse. The slow paint job.
Well, Emirates just changed to red. Emirates GBR just went to red. So if that's the case, they're on the.
I can't get that. Emirates GBR doesn't ring for me. Emirates GBR. Emirates.
Weird, isn't it? It's weird.
Yeah. You'll take the money though.
No question.
So look, Phil will find his feet, but I think this season's gone.
Yeah, I agree. But they're still pretty positive. They're still pretty positive. Lot to be said. We'll probably get one of them on the show, one or two of them on the show shortly, just so we can find out a bit more. The Swiss team, Bicey 8, U7, currently standing 9th. They've underperformed. They've had Nathan on board. Joe, you probably know more than anyone. Any inside, Goss?
Not really. I mean, Nathan's been sitting there as the sixth sailor role, which is basically at the back of the boat, just helping the young fella, giving him some tips and rolls and whatever else. But Nathan, I had a quick chat to Benny, the world's fastest man on salt while I was at SailGP. Glennie Ashby was there, and Glennie said an interesting thing to me. He said, "It's great. Nathan's taken all the heat off him in the Team New Zealand role.
Oh,
So Nathan's got a lot on."
yeah, yes.
And I made some notes coming into this. They are professional. I get that, but when you're literally drifting in for 3-day event, then going back to your other world, your other life, where you're supposed to have 110% focus, something's got to give.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having Nathan just roll on in, telling Seb how to steer and whatnot, are they as sharp? Are they as, I just don't think.
It's a dynamic.
It's the distraction.
Yeah. Has to be, Jordan.
Look at it. Let's look at it. You've got the AC distraction. So you've got, it's definitely, GBR, it's affecting Aussies a bit. It's affecting New Zealand a bit. Like they're right at the front, but they're also being distracted. Maybe the French team is suddenly going to get distracted as well.
Fall off the perch.
I'm with you, Jade. It's got to be having an impact. Plus, we made all the jokes about the Schnitter, the Schnitzel, that all those. that was good. We still love that. But they're struggling. I don't know.
Yeah, they come in as a bit of a people are thinking, they've come the whole team Swiss, team tilt type thing. A fairly formed team should be good hitting the ground running, but they are racing the best of the best, as we said last time, and I think they're going to come away from season 3 and have a pretty hard look at their processes, and they certainly won't want to be where they are right now. I can guarantee that. They're mid-table, and I don't think that's a pass mark for them.
Yep.
At this stage,
right.
I wonder if the as we move forward, I mean, the AC commitment's only going to get bigger between now and the next AC. You're talking about that it is a
it's going to affect them.
It is a side thing. Is it going to become a point where the SailGP says, look, we can't have anyone involved with the AC. If you're with the SailGP, you're with the SailGP. Is that something that's going to happen?
Well, if they go to 14 events, it's going to be almost impossible to do both. Yeah.
And I, having been at the Cup and done the Cup, I know exactly how much work goes into a Cup. I mean, these things have got to be worse than what the old version 5s were. The amount of work that I only know from working with Britton on my project. He's now doing Britton Ward from Far Yachts. Far Yachts are doing the new American boat, and he is under the pump just in the design side of things, and the team is involved in that. It's just non-stop.
All right.
Yeah, okay. And the cup's not that far away. When we because we had the year delay in the last one, the cup's not that far away. And these, if that happens, if SailGP gets pillaged and the guys can't do it, I have big fears for SailGP, because the whole concept is the best of the best racing the best of the best.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. But there are. Sorry, Jody.
Yeah, if you start putting so-called second tier, and that's probably a harsh way of saying it, but you are cheapening your product, because the best of the best isn't in the wheels.
Second tier, like what, Jordan and I, or
no, like Bicey.
Bicey.
He's not here. We can call him whatever we like.
So Jordan and I, we should just be straight in there, you reckon?
He's a tier ones for sure. Yeah, but you know what I mean. I like Sail. I love SailGP. I'm one of the biggest frothers, but that's only because it's the best of the best.
Yeah. But look, surely on this planet, right? Let's look at this the bigger picture, okay? And let me throw it out there. The America's Cup is the America's Cup, and it's super cool. I mean, we know that, right? We love what's going on. The technology has always been super cool. And these guys are going to get pulled into that, and it's going to be something that gets focused on. You say the best of the best, and I agree with you on that. We do have the best of the best. But there are sailors out there that, given the opportunity, could run at this level. Ultimately, we're still running with, 2012 laser champions. We're still running with 2000 laser champions, which is great. I mean, they are the best of the best. We know that, and there's hats off to them. But there are there are people out there that would just, given the chance, will just go, yep, that's me.
I know where you're going, BP. You're basically saying the whole 505 fleet could just step in and dominate.
Yeah, I mean, and the New South Wales Gosford Nationals, Gosford Etchell fleet could probably have a crack. Far out.
Well, I think the foiling elements. It's a lot of teamwork in these boats. More teamwork than any boat, I reckon, is the other thing.
Oh, we're nearly foiling on the Etchells.
I can start to see the cracks appearing in the.
I agree with you there,
pressure.
Jody.
That pains me to say because, like I said, I'm one of the biggest frothers on SailGP going around, mate. But I can really see the cracks starting to, or just not cracks is probably the wrong word. The pressure of the combined programs.
Yeah,
it's like when the boys were doing their AC Cup program and the Olympics.
Well, the Olympics and the Volvo. The Olympics and the Volvo. Look at all the teams doing the Olympics and the Volvo. It just didn't work.
Yeah. So I think that's starting to drift into it a little bit, but who knows? It's been a long season. Maybe fatigue's kicking in.
So for all our listeners out there that are not doing any sailing at the moment, just put your hands up because there might be a chance.
Jump in.
Yeah, it could be a chance. All right. The USA we had on our list. They're sitting at 6. They're out. We've talked a lot about the USA already. I think we can just move past that. We know that we've already said that maybe they'll shine a little bit, but Jimmy's got pressures as well with the cup stuff. Denmark, you had them at 7th. Bicey had them at 7th. You had them at 8th. They're standing at 5th. We made the joke about Marty's eyesight being one-eyed. We also had Luke Payne come on that boat, and Payne's never had great eyesight. Amazing champion, but he's had a lens transplant, so he, they might be able to see what they're doing. So they might be able to trim sails suddenly better. They could be a flash in the pan. They've just fixed their eyesight.
I reckon Denmark are the prettiest boat crew-wise in the fleet. There you go. There's a statement.
So we're going for looks here. We're looking. We're doing the catwalk.
It's still red and white.
We're on the catwalk, baby. Yeah,
catwalk ability, mate. Denmark are the hottest.
I'm too sexy for this boat. Too sexy for this boat.
Tom Johnson, Nikolai.
Oh,
Payne.
Tom Johnson.
They're all there, mate. They're all
the male model for Mudgee.
Mudgee. Mandura, isn't it?
Mandura.
Somewhere over that way.
Mandura. That's him. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Male model for Mandura.
Look, they're there, thereabouts. They're sailing well. They've done some pretty good things. So we're probably they're probably the best performed boat in Singapore. They've been in the final. What did they do? They were second in Singapore after New Zealand, and then lightning struck. And then they were in the top few in Plymouth and Copenhagen. They had a real good form, sort of that early middle part of the season. They're working hard. They're a pretty good team. They're good mates. I think there might be their time to shine going into season 4 if the America's Cup distraction comes on, because I don't think too much of the team will be lost. I think Payne goes to. He's in. I think he's into the USA team. I can't remember. There's one or two maybe they lose, but we'll be distracted. But yeah, they're going to be good. Definitely good.
Yeah, they've got the bones. Like they have got. Once again, I keep going back to this consistent crew. They have the same people on the boats every single event. So they're going to have to. Their continuity is going to kick in, and they're nipping at the heels. If one of those teams above, fall off the perch, Denmark will be there to strike, I reckon.
All right, the last 4. Let's just throw them all in together. So we've got GBR, we've got New Zealand,
Emirates GBR.
Yeah.
Let's get
Emirates
on
aren't paying us any money, mate.
Why do we have to call them Emirates GBR?
Emirates aren't paying us any money. So
Rockwell Denmark.
I'm just going to call them GBR.
Rockwell Denmark.
Yeah, New Zealand, Australia, and who have I forgot? France. Right. So we've talked about them all. I think we've sort of talked a bit about them all already. We've had a big analysis. So there's our top 4. Oh, New Zealand. Let's just dive into New Zealand and GBR a little bit more. So New Zealand, they've won 3 of the events, I think. Yeah. 3 of the events. They've looked pretty bloody awesome for a while there in the middle. They were easily the best team at most of the events. They've been pretty bloody awesome. They've got a high performance coach. They're doing a lot of this analysis, and that showed up in the middle there when they started sailing the boat. They're flying the boat a bit higher and smoother, and they've gone off the boil just slightly, but they were so red hot, bubbling, super hot for quite a while. It could be the cup thing. That's I reckon what you said before, Jody, has affected them slightly. But we'll ask. They're red hot still. You wouldn't rule them out. There's no way. They're red hot.
No way. And I think what Pete's done really, really well in the last few events, he's just planted a seed in Tommy's mind.
Yeah, I agree.
All the racing on the edge videos and all this sort of stuff we're watching now. Remember season 1, it was Nathan and Tommy. Now all the talk is about Pete and Tom.
Yep.
And Pete's just getting to him there.
He loves
all these little
too.
things that he's doing. Slingers is just looking around thinking, well, if Pete is even half a chance, he'll take it. And he's like right at their heels for the final. So I think Tommy will be a bit worried about Pete and that New Zealand team being
great team.
Oh, they are.
Unreal.
Anyone that writes a Kiwi off is a goose, to be perfectly frank.
No, they're red hot. The other one is the Poms. Talk about distractions. Poor old Ben Ainsley. I have a lot of sympathy for that bloke. I mean, he did it to himself. He became so successful that everybody wants a piece of him. You never see a guy, like he can't even take a piss without getting disturbed. The guy is, it's made him wealthy, but geez, he gets a lot of people just, everyone wants to talk to him. Everyone's there. He can handle the distractions is what I'm saying, but they haven't had the consistency, have they? They just haven't been able to do it. They had a shocker in Copenhagen.
I'm not in the corner of GBR.
You're not?
I mean, I look at the 4 people you've got there, and as you say in your little run sheet here that I'm just read again. Australia, New Zealand, France is my top 3, and I think that's going to come down to the best on the day. It's hard to say.
Okay.
For me, it's hard to say the winner between those 3.
Well, that's what we're up to. Who's going to win?
Yep. Righto, Jody.
Oh. Mate, current form, it's hard to split. Our East Australian relatives and the rest of Australia between New Zealand and Australia, mate. I know France are going to. Well, at this stage, it looks like it's a 3-way battle, and the rest are just filling in the minors. I really can't split them at this stage. I'm interested to see how
either.
Christchurch comes out.
Yeah,
to see how Christchurch.
That's the factor. That's the factor.
Well, the other thing is whether we all have all the wings, full-size wings, and all that sort of stuff. There's whether the infrastructure's there. But let's just say we're in San Fran, it's blowing. The whales are not there.
Perfect world, yep.
Yep.
No whales, no dolphins, no turtles, and it's all game on.
Okay.
Well, let's go a whole nother track here. Let's just put it out there.
Okay.
Who are you going for? Not who's going to win. Who are you going for?
I think BP, you're right that it's going to be. It could still be GBR, but it's likely France, likely New Zealand. We don't know what's going to happen in New Zealand with the infrastructure, whether we're going to get a funny race or not. But let's just say everything's good. Likely France, likely New Zealand, likely Australia is my gut feel. Come San Francisco, I would say it's probably 40% New Zealand. Let's call it 40% New Zealand, 35% likely Aussie, and then maybe the rest is France. I think.
What does that add up to? What does that add up to?
Well, 100 because I said the rest.
100.
Yeah, so 45, 35.
I just wanted to check your maths.
I've given 20%. I've given 20% chance to France.
40 and 35 is 75, 25% to the French.
I wouldn't be disappointed if any of those teams win, but my gut feel is that it's could be New Zealand.
Okay, well, there you go. Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to go an Aussie 3-peat purely because Tommy loves that water.
Yep.
Loves it.
Yep.
Something
That's a
that I
big
guess
point.
is probably a little bit underestimated or underdetermined or whatever, underspoken is Tommy will be in America. You know, the jet lag thing. He'll be training with American Magic, all that sort of stuff. It's not that big of an issue for him just to go to San Fran and do that event. The Kiwis have to fly over, change time zones. They're going to be tired.
Yeah.
I know the whole, they're not getting there for a lot of time beforehand. So I just reckon that the Aussies will tick it off.
Do you think also that Tom Slingsby will be sort of like a, what's the word, sort of a bit of a surrogate American, and the USA guys will get behind him, being an American Magic skipper?
Could do.
Yeah.
So like, come on Aussies type of thing.
Here's another
come on Aussie.
Here's another thing. The French will start talking up the rivalry between the Aussies and the Kiwis, and it always in the final. It's the two teams that get in the dial up get sucked out, and the third team sneaks around the corner and takes off. So if I was France, I would be directing all the pressure that way, 100%.
If I was France, I'd do a haka.
Jesus Christ!
That'll bugger them.
as they're dialing in 3 minutes beforehand, all the Frenchies with their white wetsuits standing on the side of the boat doing a haka. I'm not sure how intimidating that would actually be, but anyway.
It's a funny thought, though, isn't it?
maybe BP, after they've heard this, Quentin Delapierre or Quentin Tarantino, however you want to call him, they'll be doing this practice now. That's what they're going to do from now on. If they do it in New Zealand, then you're onto it.
Yeah.
They might learn it while they're in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I reckon, and the other thing is, I guess Tommy's distraction as far as the wedding. We glossed over the wedding a little bit, but all that sort of stuff's got to be on your mind, And
does play. I mean, a wedding's not a small thing. We've all been there.
Nah. And you imagine how much satisfaction you'd be holding the trophy up for the third time. We all know how competitive that redheaded fella is.
He's super competitive,
But I can't wait for it now. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just bypass New Zealand and get there.
Oh, geez, that's a bit tough.
No, we need to give them as much love as we can. They've been absolutely decimated over there. So the New Zealand cousins, it's we're definitely thinking of you.
Yep.
They've had a rough trot.
Okay, BP, what did you call? So Jody's gone the three-peat. What did you call BP?
I'm still in Australia's corner. Okay. I think it's still going to be Australian. I just obviously I want them to win because I'm Australian, but no, I think they've still got that edge, when it comes down to it. But Jody's comment of New Zealand and Australia doing a bit of a match race, and your comment, sorry, Jordan.
Yeah.
Australia and New Zealand doing a bit of a match race, and France just taking off down the outside. I mean, they've got speed, so
yep, will be interesting to
see how it
should be
out.
windy. It should be windy, like iconically beautiful and reliably windy San Francisco. It should be windy. So they've got form in wind, the French.
It's I guarantee the water will be cold. Jesus. Oh, dear.
Just don't get teabagged.
Cool. Righto, lads. We're moving on from SailGP. Loving it. There is so much going on, though, that we need to sort of just touch on a few other things at the moment. I do have to mention that there's events that are coming up. The round North Island race it started yesterday.
The double-handed stuff as well. Yep.
Yeah. So the Kiwis roaming around the North Island. That'll take a while, a couple of weeks, I'm guessing, for that one. BP, what do you reckon?
Look, it's a fantastic event, and you actually have to. It's got a cap, and you can't get into it. It's very difficult to get into. So we'll keep an eye on that one for sure.
33 boats, 66 sailors.
That's right, and hopefully next year we'll have one of our little boats in there. But obviously, with shipping and all the shit fight that goes on with that, we missed this year. But anyway, that's how life is.
Okay,
but we'll keep an eye on it.
Why don't they call it a four-handed race?
Yeah, I know. I'm hearing you. It's not double-handed
just
at all.
guys with one arm tied behind their back the whole time and make it bloody even harder. But Anyway, I'm just a simple person.
Oh, I know, mate. No, I know. No, it's all good. Yep.
Three
Go
legs.
on, move on.
Three legs. Auckland to Manganui, Manganui
What,
to
3 legs and 3 legs and
Waikawa.
1
Legs
hand.
and 2 hands.
Waikawa, and then to Auckland. So anyway, it's about 1,200 miles. Okay, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's a long race, double-handed. Looking forward to seeing that. We will follow that one for sure.
Okay. The other one is Sail Port Stephens. Just they're doing all sorts. If you haven't done Sail Port Stephens, get onto it. Newcastle Yacht Club, reach out to them there. I think they're running the whole show. But Sail Port Stephens is in April and May. There's a heap of events on there. Beautiful part of the world if you haven't been to Port Stephens.
Absolutely, and that time of year is absolutely sensational.
Yep.
Yeah, we did it last year. It was a hoot.
Absolutely. It's nothing bad going to happen there. That's just so much fun. So the other one I do want to mention that's coming up is in April. Late April is the Bateman's Bay Regatta. Bateman's Bay is a beautiful part on the south coast of New South Wales.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So 22, 23 April. That'd be a good regatta. If you've got a boat in the shed, pull it out and go down for that one. I think you will enjoy yourselves. So yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
I'd just like, before you move on, Jordan, I'd just like to quickly get in here and say that, again, pump up the fact that if you want your event publicised with us, please contact us, because we are doing our best to tell everyone about your event.
Including overseas
so please,
events.
Yeah. Oh, look, absolutely. Overseas. I mean, I think we've got some reach over there.
Beauty.
We've got the JJ starting on Friday, haven't we?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's a big
fun.
one. Yeah, the 18s,
Yep. Good viewing.
Got
that
heaps
one.
on.
Yep. So jump onto that one. Okay. So at the start, I mentioned Jack Lloyd, listener of the week. I mentioned Tristan Beatty and the whole bagging of Bicey, which we endorse wholeheartedly. If you do feel like writing in and bagging Bicey, we're 100% behind that. You're more than welcome.
It's mandatory.
Yeah,
mandatory.
Yeah.
Eric.
So let's get some big emails in and let's get on the Bicey bag.
Yeah. Eric Christian wrote in. I love this email. Dear Bar Karate, thank you for your awesome podcast. Been listening for over 1,100 miles while trailering an F-18 catamaran from Seattle, Washington, I guess, WA, to St. Petersburg, Florida for the Everglades Challenge. Something Jordan said made me look in the rearview mirror and realise, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm a catwhacker.
Oh, Jesus. Two of them are following me.
Would you be willing to bestow a Bar Karate reverse curse upon us for our EC300 race? In appreciation, I've attached a vintage photo of Peter Goggins you can use to decorate your swear jar. Pete Goggins, I know he'll be listening, so CEO of Harkin. Wow. He's got... that is unreal. It's like him as a 1-year-old. Anyway, I'm reading that off the email, and he's asked me to send some headshots through so he can post them of me to or of all three of us, to post them in prominent locations around the Sloop Tavern Yacht Club, Ballard Yacht Club, and Poolsbow Yacht Club. Okay, he just wants mine. There you go. So
good on you, mate.
I was going to say you could put Bicey's behind the toilet for a good time ring.
Yeah,
Put his mobile on.
For a good time, ring Bicey.
or email is. He's not here, remember? We're just bagging him.
Yeah. No.
Just that Everglades Challenge. It's a 300-mile race for small boats from St. Petersburg to Key Largo. I just want to start singing there. Key Largo, that's a Beach Boys song.
How far is it?
300 mile.
Funny that.
What a Tribe events. Everglades Challenge. Every competitor carries a tracker. I'll send a link once the race starts. Okay, so that looks pretty interesting. So we might... there's some funky boats in his photos. God, he's all over this bloke. He's done a great job. We'll 100% send you a reverse curse, but we'll put the link up for a few people. But otherwise, just go Everglades Challenge and have a look if you're interested in following that one. That could be quite interesting. All right.
Is this when Bicey normally kicks in and goes, Eric, you definitely won't be getting a...
No, may or may not. May or may not.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
may or may not.
Until we make money. Oh, by the way, just before we roll into Hot Time with, I don't know who it's going to be Hot Time with, boys, we made $1.30 from advertising. We've never agreed to advertising with anyone, so I don't know if anyone is hearing advertising. Let us know, because we haven't agreed to any advertising, and we just
gone into a bank account.
$1.30. Went into
I've just worked out where Bicey is. That $1.30 is what's left of the slush fund that he's been milking off you guys. And he's probably sitting over in some empty hotel in Bermuda or somewhere
so
like that now,
excited.
giggling his head off.
Do you reckon that would have been our new 56 friends on TikTok?
Oh, don't know. It came.
We're at,
not.
We're at 56 now.
Wow. It's just so impressive.
Well, all I wanted last week was 10.
Well, you've done well, BP. All right.
Influencers.
I'm an influencer. Hey, on a serious note, can I bring the serious note up of obviously a very serious incident at Port Lincoln last week?
Okay. Yep. No, that's wise. Let's talk about that. Okay, go for it.
To the family and friends of Mr. Andrew McLeod, obviously thoughts and condolences go out to you.
Yep.
An incident occurred at the Port Lincoln race week where he was involved and obviously didn't come through. So, I didn't know Andrew, and neither did, I guess most of us didn't. But, a yacht racing incident hurts all of us. And as Kempy, the manager of the event, said, it pulled everyone together, and the resilience of the yacht racing fraternity has shown through again. So to the family and friends of Andrew, condolences, and that's from us sincerely too.
Yeah. We also lost a couple of legends this week. We lost Sid Fisher.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think a lot of
That's
people
a big one.
got a start with Sid Fisher. I think Bicey owes his career to Sid Fisher, who helped him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of people can say that. So that is a massive hole in Australia. Another name is Peter Boker. He was, probably one of the standout navigators of the 70s, I guess is the best way to describe him. So won a lot of major events. You think of all the major events we talk about, Pete was involved with winning teams. So that's another big loss as well. So we'll do that. So we just... Thoughts? Right. Okay.
Yes. Ole. Do I got to cut in here or what? Hot time with Jody.
Poor Jody doesn't know what to do now. He's looking at his computer.
Please. Hang on, am I supposed to be dressed funny?
Yeah.
No, you meant to rip. You got to rip your pants off.
Weedy?
No, you got to rip your pants off.
Right, no, they're off.
All right. I'll throw the topics up.
We'll help you.
I'll throw the topics up. We're in a few short hours. Leg 3 of the Ocean Race starts from Cape Town, going all the way around to Itajaí.
World, all around the world.
Basically the bottom of the world, 2,500 miles.
How much?
I don't know. I think it's about 12,500 miles, something like that.
I was going to say 12 and a half. I said 2.5.
Via Bicey's barbecue.
Via Bicey's barbecue.
No, the barge. The barge.
The barge.
Yep.
You will remember we had Abby on the show saying she is not going to be doing this leg. She lied to us.
Well, she did lie, and I have eye rolled her. I've sent her an eye roll.
Oh, good. I was talking to her husband, Tommy, and he reckons he talked her into it. I think he said that we haven't really done the around the world if you don't go the Southern Ocean leg. So she stepped up, and Abby's going. So that's cool. It's a tough start to the leg. I don't know if you guys have looked at the weather. It's definitely a tough start to the leg. They're going straight into a bit of breeze. We may actually see some guys tack out on port and go backwards a bit to drop down into a weather system. I'm wondering if we're going to see that. It's probably they're going to go south as quick as possible, I reckon. The Agulhas current won't be friendly to these boats. The weather system, if they can drop south, they can get into a pretty good running system. So I reckon we'll see boats head south, maybe even southwest. I don't know. Have you guys had a look?
Some of these skippers might have thought they're from the Clipper race, mate, and going the other way.
Yeah, tack on Tuesday.
Tack on Tuesday.
But yeah,
see how that one pans out. That's going to be cool.
So the import race, Joe?
Oh, mate. I've got to say, it was like watching submarine racing. It was boring. And I apologise.
Submarine racing.
To anyone out there from the Ocean Race, but fair dinkum. Like, that was not riveting TV to watch. And I know they're trying to follow your lead, Jordan, on your pursuit racing.
Yeah.
But, you've got to tailor the race course to suit the boat, surely.
Yeah. So
surely.
My pursuit race, you'd set the course up more like a diamond rather than a parallelogram like they've done. So you'd
parallelogram.
Yeah, they did this. Set it up like a diamond. So it's just big tack, 180-degree turns at each end, and just keep them at full plane the whole time. The pursuit race does rely on two boats sort of keeping it's small courses and opposed to each other, and excitement between two boats. But she was difficult to watch. But I'm loyal to the race. Love it.
I get that. But
Stay loyal. No,
they reckon they can't lift up the foils because they haven't got enough winches. They can't pull reefs out. Like it was 3 knots at one stage, and they're running around with a reef. Surely they can reef these things.
The good thing about the Cape Town is it's either all or nothing. Dee was saying on the commentary, it is all or nothing in Cape Town. So, for the start, it could be nuking through there and it'll be unreal because it'll be flat water. If it is nuking through, it could be real flat water and they, it's
like the Volvo a few years ago. That import was awesome. Absolutely
unbelievable.
It was unreal to watch.
Yeah.
This was.
Let's look forward to the big leg. Let's look forward to that. Let's just put that behind us and move on because we love the race.
All right.
So let's hope they can all get around the bottom of the world.
Yep. It'll be safely. Please.
Safely, correct.
Everyone be safe. RORC Caribbean 600, yes, 70 boats, 600 crew, 30 different nations racing, trade winds, all sorts of stuff. The overall winner in the monohulls was Pyewack at the 70.
Yep, absolutely.
Roy Disney's boat just charged
having
around.
A cracker of a year.
Yep, unreal. What else?
Geez, they're good boats, those 70s, aren't they?
Yeah, that one particularly. That one's a shit-hot boat. Zulu in the multi-hulls. 11-second margin. It's like that's something you don't hear every day. So the Mod 70s, Zulu, so it's a French boat. Eric Maurice won the multi-hull line honours and 11 seconds. If you see the video, you'll see that they basically cross the line and, they're just over a boat length apart. It's just insane. Maserati, I think, was...
They have a turning. Did I see that right? They had a turning mark or something they had to go to and then go into the finish, and they were literally going around that turning mark at the same time, and one just got through and
that's it.
Beat him by 11 seconds after 600 miles of racing.
It's almost a Liebau, isn't it?
The Master Beam. Master Beam on the boy.
Yeah, overtaking vessel. Get clear.
The other one I'll quickly mention is Teasy Machine got the win in the IRC 0.
Oh, God, geez, we're just nailing it. Yeah. We have nailed those blokes. They can't stop winning.
A JPK 1080 won the IRC 2. There you go. And the two-handed was a Verdi, a 54, Notre Mediterranean. There you go. Okay. Yep. Anyway, good event. You can watch a bit of that. There's some highlights on the YouTube, as I like to call it. Next one, I think we need to make a massive congratulations to all the team on the Orange Boat in Port Lincoln. The Australian Yachting Championships were held, raced and won. There was also the race to the mighty race from Adelaide to Lincoln that Bicey talked up. His team won. Secret Men's.
Yep, no, but Secret Men's business has taken that out comfortably. There was obviously, not a huge turnout because it's a big distance from where most boats live, but, it was still fantastic sailing. And, so our man has won the Australian Yachting Championship, so that's a good thing.
Yep, and
I think it's really good to the boats that they have to take a handbrake on, and obviously Bicey was that handbrake this year. So congratulations to the organisers.
You're onto something here, Joe, because maybe he didn't show up. There's no photographic evidence. I did see him in the prize giving photos.
There's a Photoshop photo of him for sure.
He's bigger than the rest of them. It's out of proportion.
And you notice he's all way to the side, so it's easy just to slide in and get yourself into the photo that way.
Bicey, you're in deep shit, mate. You're in deep shit, Bicey.
No, friends. I love it.
Were you there?
Okay.
Well, until there's photo evidence, I'm calling
bullshit
on it.
I'm calling bullshit.
Righto.
Me too.
The next one we have to talk about. We know nothing. Paul Kayard out of US Sailing. We have to mention that.
We know nothing.
Well, we know that Kayard's out. US Sailing,
they're up and down, aren't they?
Do you think they got sick of wearing the moustaches? Everyone's been required to wear moustaches.
Do you know how itchy moustaches are?
I do, mate. I can't stand them.
Do you know how hard it is to walk around a moustache in winter when it's frozen? So like they're
Do you
in the
know how
middle of-
hard it is to drink milk with a moustache?
Yeah.
Well,
I've heard a little bit. I've heard that they're like the finances of it's a rabble. I've heard that, internally they're just not
Going
pulling
berserk.
together like Australia do. And like you think about, they got 300 million people to get hold of in the USA, and they have they've struggled, mate. They haven't medalled for a long time. They're just struggling.
I was
They're in trouble.
I was over there a while ago, and I sort of got a bit worried when I saw the guy roller skating in a pair of budgie smugglers and a bloody rainbow hat. That concerns me.
That was
that's the
Bicey.
future.
I was just going to say, what are
yes,
you
it
talking
was.
about?
That was Bicey.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Move on. It's
Yep, things are happening in US sailing. We'll be interested to see how it plays
let's
out.
see how that pans out.
The other thing is we're starting to hear about the America's Cup teams, the youth and the women's teams. We've been reached out to by a lot of the teams just trying to come on the show and talk about it. We will follow up with a few of those teams, so we'll bring that one back up. The last quick thing I want to mention, we did plug the Finn class in Australia for their youth campaign where they're doing all this stuff where they're trying to bring youth into the team, and they were going to fund trips to the Silver Cup, and there have been discounts to entering races and becoming a member of the Finn class. And I've got a note here. They've currently have 3 under-23s campaigning for the 24 Silver Cup and expect another 3 to 4 to come on board by Christmas. Big thanks to you guys at Bar Karate, and obviously the big thanks to all the guys in the Finn class who are stepping up the team. There's a lot of passion in that class, and they've had a red hot dig, and good on them. Well done.
Yep.
Don't be surprised if the Finns now thrive now that they're not an Olympic class.
I'm on that.
Yep.
I'm on that.
You guys had AMAC on a while ago, and he was talking about how good it would be to get the Moss in the Olympics, and he sort of touched on he didn't want to because of the constrictions and all the crap that goes with it. So good on the Finns, all power to them, mate. They just thrive, and it's all of it, but basically an up yours to the Olympic movement of kicking them out. There's my $2 worth.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we'll finish off with you, BP. Etchell, bit
love
of
to.
New South Wales State, 2-1.
Oh, mate, what a fantastic, as I said at the start, what a fantastic event the Gosford Sailing Club put on. I'm up your way, Jody. It's lovely up here. I'm sitting out here enjoying the weather right now, and it was a fantastic weekend. First tracks, Billy Merrington has got up, had sailed absolutely beautiful. Ian McKillop and Grant Simmer on board, I might add. So, yeah, that's it's absolutely fantastic to have Grant back in.
Was that a Mould 11 boat?
No, it was a Heritage.
What did you set your boat up as? Like, what rake did you rocker did you put in the boat? Because you can tune.
No, I tuned it in C.
C.
Yep. Well, maybe C minor. By the end of the week, it was definitely C minor. But Billy and Ian and Grant sailed an absolutely beautiful regatta. And yesterday they got a 1-1-1-2.
Wow. In
that fleet, and in the shifty conditions at Gosford, as you know, are pretty gnarly. Absolutely amazing, and it was a fantastic effort. So well done to them. And wow, it was just a beautiful weekend.
Cool.
BP, without getting too deep into it, has this change made any difference?
No.
It seems like an absolute. I know he's gone down this road 1,000 times, boys, but what a waste of time and money in my mind. Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. No, we don't want to go back down that path.
Nah,
absolutely.
Don't open up that rabbit hole again. Anyway, boys.
Anyway, so just quickly in second, Graham Taylor, Richie Allenson, James Mayo. Oh. Fantastic effort. Yep, that was another good team. That was in a Mould 11, obviously.
Yep,
and then
obviously.
In for third, Jean-Claude, Sevi Jarvan, and Sammy Newton.
Wow.
In for third. Yeah.
Strong.
So, yeah, and it was solid racing, I must say. It was absolutely solid racing. We tried our best. Flew Sandy Higgins up, and we got into in there, but we had a couple of little issues. But that's life.
Where'd you come?
12th out of 35.
Mate, top part of the fleet. Well done. Congrats.
Yeah, no, it was really tough racing. And Gosford, my God.
Oh,
what a place to sail. Beautiful, but far out.
Yep. She's takes a long time for that sea breeze to get over that hill.
And when it does, when it does, you're looking at the guy in front of you going, that's where I want to be. And then you get there and you go, it's not there. Oh, okay. No problem.
80-degree wind shifts are pretty hard to get hold of.
Yes.
Anyway.
All righty, lads.
Cool. All right.
Well done.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Please.
Jade, for stepping in, mate.
Mate, thank you very much for getting me back. I appreciate it. Congrats again on the 199. Looking forward to 200. And maybe the mystery man might be back from spending all your advertising money and hopefully $200 will be great. Yeah, well done. Good on you, boys.
Righto. Good on you, lads.
See you, everyone. Thanks for listening.
See you, everyone. Bye-bye.
My way.
BP getting thrashing.
This is a good bit, isn't it? I've got to send you to say you got the whole song, Jody.